Hello, welcome to the grounds crew. My name is Alex.
Alex Senior, Bo.
This is Paul.
Alrighty, we just wanted to give you an MLB update. So right now, what I'm gonna go ahead and do is just read off some of the transactions that have happened so far throughout this free agency. So the Red Sox have acquired Justin Wilson and Aroldis Chapman, both on one-year deals. The Cleveland Guardians have signed Austin Hedges to a one-year deal. The Kansas City Royals have traded Jonathan India and Joey Weimer, and they traded Brady Singer to the Reds. Then Kyle Farmer has signed with the Rockies. Austin Slater has signed with the White Sox, and the Angels have had a busy offseason.
Mhm.
They have signed Yusei Kikuchi, Travis d'Arnaud, Kyle Hendricks, Kevin Newman, and traded for Jorge Soler. Let's see. The Athletics have re-signed TJ McFarland. The Rangers have signed Kyle Higashioka and Luis Curvelo. Mets have also been busy. They have signed Frankie Montas to a 2-year deal, Dylan Covey, Justin Hagenman to 1-year deals, and they have traded for Jose Siri of the Tampa Bay Rays. The Cubs have gotten Eli Morgan and Matt Thias, both in trades. The Reds have re-signed Nick Martinez, who is the only one who accepted the qualifying offer this year. And they got Brady Singer from the Royals in the Jonathan India trade. And Blake Snell has signed a 5-year deal with the Dodgers. And Jacob Stallings has also re-signed with the Colorado Rockies. And Terry Francona is the new manager of the Cincinnati Reds. And the Marlins have also signed a new manager. Paul, what was his name?
Oh, the name of that manager is Nate. No, Clayton McCullough. He lives in Jupiter, Florida.
And he was on the Dodgers staff, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. Matter of fact, just a few weeks ago, of course, he would have been in the World Series. So it's pretty neat to think that he knows how to win.
But then he goes
Eh,
to a team that doesn't care about winning.
Well, I will say this much. He has already been involved in some events down in Miami, and he is really pumped about getting involved in community. So hopefully he can at least get some fans there. That would be nice. Um,
Well, hopefully he can convince this front office to actually do something. But
I know.
anyways, that's a topic for another time.
Yes, it is.
So, this news just broke today. Aroldis Chapman has signed a 1-year, $10.75 million deal with the Boston Red Sox. Sir, you are the former Yankee fan who is currently eating ice cream. What do you think about this world's okayest dad mug?
Yeah, this was my Father's Day gift. World's
You're welcome.
dad. On,
Okayest.
anyway, on the inside it says "Just kidding, you're the greatest." But anyway, so
So, what do you think about the Chapman signing for the Red Sox?
I feel like it's like, I mean, it's an move to me because I really want to see the Red Sox bolster their lineup. Um, and Aroldis Chapman, great closer, but I don't know. I just don't. This one's a little bit odd for me because I don't think he's kind of not what he was. So, where are they going with this? Like, is this? I don't know. I guess if it was a need that they had, then they needed a closer, and he's available. Why not go ahead and get him? I mean, $10 million, a lot of money for a guy he's been doing this a very long time, and I don't know. What do you think? You're the Red Sox fan. Where's your head on this one?
It's bad that I'm getting excited. It's a new front office, and they're showing that they are willing to make moves. And I'm starting to get excited. Um, More of that will come up in our next topic. But
I mean, how well do you see him perform this year.
Same as he did last year, mid to high threes ERA. I guess this signing means that Kenley Jansen is not returning. He probably wants to return back to the Dodgers. Probably get one of those deferred payments, but
Yeah, big up on that because that's a joke.
I
uh,
guess my problem with this is, and I don't mean this to hurt you, Alex, but why get a closer if you can't close the game? I mean, they don't have enough wins to really worry about getting closes in the first place. So
well,
that's a lot of money.
relievers are important. Maybe they're not planning on using him in the closer role. I mean, Chapman wasn't a closer last year with Pittsburgh.
Okay, I'll go along with
Um,
that.
I mean, maybe they're still trying to get Kenley back or get a different closer. Maybe he's just an addition to the bullpen.
Okay, yeah, I'll go along with
But,
that. I could
but
go along
Yeah,
with that.
because we don't really know his role yet. We just know this is Aroldis Chapman, who's one of the hardest throwing guys in the game. He's
Right.
at 10.75 million, so I'm hoping he has a big year and a big role in this bullpen. But we just don't know what the role is going to be.
How old of a
Just
guy is he?
he's that I can look up. Yeah, I'm excited because I think this is the first time that I felt since the Mookie Betts salary dump trade that their Red Sox are actually trying to do something.
And where all has Chapman been?
A lot of places.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
So Aroldis is currently 36 years old. He'll be 37 by the time just about when spring training starts, when the games start. He'll be 37, and the teams he has been with, it's a list, so bear with me. He's been with Cincinnati, New York Yankees, Chicago Cubs, Pittsburgh, Kansas City, and Texas.
Wow. What's the best year he's had as far as ERA?
As far as ERA goes,
he was a great closer at
I
one point.
know. I know he was in the day.
see here.
Consistently throws over 100. He'll hit 100 on the gun. Even still, he'll hit 100, but it's flat. It's flattened out a bit.
His best year was back in 2012, where he pitched 71 and two-thirds innings with a 1.51 ERA, getting 38 saves for the Reds. His best season after that was with both the Chicago Cubs and the New York Yankees, where he had a 1.55 and 36 saves.
And what's his last 2 years been?
So back in 2022 was his 2022 was his worst season ever.
Oh boy.
With the Yankees, and that was he had a 446 and 36 and a third innings. But jump to 2024, he had a 379.
Okay, so under 4, that's good.
And the year in the middle was 309.
Okay.
Okay, so he still
So
has a little bit left in him. But
yeah, I don't think he'll quite get to a 4 ERA. He may be just under it, but I think he'll be in the threes for sure.
He's
I
going to
think he.
park too.
I just saw a meme that said he wanted to go to a park where Jose Altuve couldn't hit that home run in the playoffs.
Yeah, I get that.
So yeah.
is there any update on Soto from either one of you that you know of?
Actually heard a little bit. The Red Sox are trying really, really hard. Big Poppy has gotten involved.
Oh boy.
Big Poppy has gotten involved in recruiting Juan Soto to Boston.
That's not going to hurt the scene, I can tell you that.
I'd love Boston to get him. It would make up for trading Mookie. It would. It would make up for trading Mookie and some.
I agree. Actually, that would be an insane move for the Red Sox.
Who was the other guy that came just to the Red Sox, did you say?
I believe his name was.
Aroldis Chapman.
No.
It is Justin Wilson, another lefty.
Oh, it's a pitcher. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which he had a 5.59 ERA, so I don't really know why the Red Sox went
Ouch.
after him. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess they saw something they liked. I mean, the stats don't say anything, but
Where was he at?
Chicago.
White Sox. Oh, okay. Because I thought all the White Sox had a 5 point something. No, I'm sorry.
Whoa! Whoa.
Well, the only guy that they have right now that is, at least pitching wise, is Garrett Crochet, and he's in all the trade talks right now.
Yeah.
Right?
All right,
Where do you
we've
want to
got
go
to talk
next?
about this Dodgers mess.
Yep, let's do it.
But let's get it over with.
Try to even explain what deferment is.
Assigning someone and then paying them later.
Yeah, but how much later?
However much they want, basically. Or can at least get a player to agree to.
I mean, I'm amazed at how far some of this is going out into the
Look, this is their new
into the
logo.
2030s.
I don't know if you can see it.
Wait, come back a little closer. A little closer. There it
There
is.
it is. There it is.
Deferred.
Yep.
Love it.
Yep. That's becoming the talk.
Yeah, so I saw the list so far. They've got 8 players on deferred contracts. One of them we don't even know what the terms are yet, and that's Blake Snell. That has not been released yet. So of the 8 players that they know about, they have just over $1 billion in deferred money, and we still got Blake Snell to be considered. They're going to be getting the new Japanese pitcher. They're trying to.
That's not a sure thing yet. That's not a sure thing.
I know, but that it all, it all looks like it's pointing that direction.
Okay. I have a list in front of me of some amazing things. Okay. So here it is. This is a list of deferred money in years paid out. So Otani is $680 million that will be paid out from 2034 to 2043. Will Smith is $50 million that will be paid out from 2034 to 2043.
10 years from now.
Freeman is $57 million from 2028 to 2040. Blake Snell is $65 million that hasn't even been announced yet. Betts is $115 million that will be from 2033 to 2044. Justin Turner is $6 million that will be from 2024 to 2026. Hernandez is $8.5 million that will be from 2030 to 2039, and Edman is $25 million that will be from 2035 to 2044. It equals $1.006 billion altogether.
Well, at least they're paying one of those off already, and that's Justin Turner. He's not on the team anymore, and I'm assuming Teoscar's not going to be on the team next season either.
Really? Okay.
Well, there's a
So
possibility.
this is from MLB Buzz, and it says the Dodgers are playing chess while the rest of the league is stuck playing checkers. You know what? They can word it like that. I don't think this is playing chess. I don't think this is thinking
playing
ahead.
stupid. I think this is playing stupid. All right, you're going to be paying these guys that much amount of money all the way down the line, and then you're not even going to be able to afford the players that you have then, unless you just do deferments over and over and over and over
Exactly.
again.
That's
and
what's going to have to happen.
Credit cycle.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're going to be a team on credit is what you're going to be.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Baseball has Manfred. I mean, all the things that he's paying attention to, and he's been silent on this issue. I don't understand this. You have to step in here and do something. Can you imagine if the rest of baseball did this? We won't have baseball in 10 years. The entire league will go bankrupt.
And that's why I think it needs to stop.
Well, I think this winter meeting, they're going to have to bring it up. It's going to have to be talked about.
But not only will it have to be talked about, I think a salary cap is going to have to be put in place somehow.
Absolutely.
Because we have all these teams spending all this money where, I mean, not every team can compete with that, which, hey, I get. But they're spending a ridiculous amount of money. And for what? I mean, they're baseball players. They're not saving anyone's lives.
Right.
They're not doing anything crazy. They're just hitting a baseball. Granted, they're doing it better than anyone else.
Right.
But there has to be a salary cap. I know they have the luxury tax in place right now, but it's not doing anything.
No,
teams don't really care. They say like, oh yeah, we got to stay under this threshold, but like, yeah, they have to stay under that threshold. But what about the other thresholds they've already passed?
Exactly.
There needs to be a salary cap.
Old wink, wink. Can't really do it. Oh yeah, we could go this high. oh, but we got to get this guy. So now we're up here. Uh, yeah, this is, and he needs to do something sooner rather than later, because this was a topic when we discussed this before with when Otani was the only one. They've got 8 players on deferred contracts now, and they're looking to add more. By the time they make a ruling on this, they're already going to have a full roster of deferred contracts. And now what do you do? Well, you change all their contracts, or they get grandfathered in, and at that point the mess has already been created, and you're going to have to see the repercussions of it down the line. If I'm a Dodgers fan, I'm very nervous about how my team is acting right
See, that's what I'm worried about is the grandfathered in clause. That's what they're going to do, especially
They
since
can't.
it's only one team.
Well, there are other deferred contracts around the league, but this is the team where it's overblown. Um, I think that there is going to have to be a grandfathered clause, because I think that you can't mess with contracts that have already been signed.
which is probably why they're trying to do so many so quickly before a ruling gets made.
I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, that is probably why they probably see it coming. They're like, yeah, we're the problem, so let's over amplify this so we can benefit the most from it before the rule is made because of us.
And I don't know any in detail secrets or anything like that. I'm just picturing this in my head, like how this went over in the in management meetings, like whose idea this was, and when they bounced this off of each other, like how they all came in agreement with each other and said, this sounds like a really good idea. Just defer everyone's contract, get every player we could possibly sign, make this a mega team, and sure, we'll pay the money back later. Yeah, it's going to be difficult, but at that point, we just keep rolling deferred contracts, and we can keep this whole thing on credit until the world ends or till baseball ends or whatever, and then we, at the very end. I mean, if I'm a player that I'm deferring a contract to, like Otani should be a little bit worried about this. He needs to reconsider what's going on here, because they may go bankrupt, and then where's that money? I mean, I know that they're probably going to put safeguards in it or whatever, but I would still be nervous at how many deferments they're making. Are they going to be able to make good on all this at some point? And the only thing I could think of when I was hearing all this was exactly what we just said. They'll just roll this over, and 10 years from now, those players will be on deferments, and you don't have to worry about them for 10 years. You just keep rolling it. But baseball's going to make a ruling, and they're not going to allow this. So at some point, they're going to have to pay money and pay new player salary contracts at some point, because it's not going to be allowed to keep on going like this. And they're going to be in trouble financially.
With Otani, I thought I heard he wanted ownership stakes, and that's why he deferred a lot of his money. I could be wrong on that.
Interesting.
Ownership of their team, you mean?
I'd like to be a part owner of the Dodgers.
Oh, wow. Well, that's bold.
I mean, the Dodgers would just be keeping their money, and he would just have ownership, like part ownership then.
Instead of the
Because the money would be what he would be paying to buy ownership.
Interesting.
I don't know how true that is. I thought I heard that, though.
All right. Well, here's another topic that's going to come up in the winter meetings, and that's what Tampa Bay is going to do next. Their poor stadium, of course, is destroyed, and who knows when they get back into it, if they ever do. And now they're going to a Steinbrenner stadium, and so because of that, their schedule's been all messed around, and they get to play so many at home and so many away. And I guess the question for the winter to me is, does Tampa Bay still want them? Do they move on now and go to another town? I mean, where do they go? What do they do? Do they even build a new stadium? I mean, if they can't attract people to the stadium they have, then what? I mean, what's the next step for Tampa Bay? I guess is the question.
Defer it.
Defer it. I mean, I know Alex Jr. and I were talking. They haven't had a good player since Longoria, and you're talking 15 years ago. And that's the last player that really brought anybody in there to really want to have somebody to come and
Right.
watch.
Not good player, but player that drew fans in.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Well, I
That's what I
mean,
mean.
they did just have one, but I
Yeah,
think we all know
Well, yeah, this is fine.
what happened.
Yeah, yeah,
had that
yeah.
5-2 player in Wander Franco, and fun to watch, exciting. And what a shame! What a shame!
Yeah, talent wasted.
Hold
But
on.
between a schedule change,
No wonder he wanted an 11-year contract.
yeah, yeah, really.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. I'm sorry.
no wonder he wanted that.
Oh, boy. I don't think Tampa Bay, I don't think they have enough support there to really put a lot of money into a stadium.
I mean, they got a pretty good draw over there. It wasn't like the Marlins. I mean, I
Well, they
thought
have a pretty good draw whenever the right team comes. I mean, that's the
Right.
thing.
Like, sir, we were there for when the Red Sox were in town, and it was a Boston home game.
that's true. That is true.
What are
Which is
the
weird.
seats like when the White Sox are in town?
Well,
Exactly.
that's funny that you say that because Tampa is a lot of Yankee fans there with the Tampa's, with the minor league teams,
Exactly.
and meanwhile the Red Sox game was a home game for the Red Sox. So yeah, I see that. But what are they? So what's your opinion on what they're really going to do with a roof that is they're saying is going to cost $55 million? And when you estimate something, in construction, you might as well double it by the time you're done. That's what they say anyway, and I've lived that firsthand. Um, so yeah, 55 million, and then they find out this is wrong, that's wrong, this is wrong, that's wrong. You're going to pour all that money into that stadium. They were very proud of that stadium too, by the way. Every single game that they had in that stadium, they posted up on the board. This is our, X amount of game in a row without a rain out because they put that roof up. So, they were.
Well, that record is going to be broken this year.
Yes, it is. So, are they do they invest the money to fix what they have, or tear it down and start over? Opinion.
Can I say that I don't think the Rays know what they want to do yet?
I think they better know by the winter meetings because I think it's going to be brought up.
At least by the end of it, they better make a decision. But I don't even think they know what they want to do yet. I don't know if they want to just stay in their stadium, build the new one they were in talks with, and kind of said that they were going to do it, or relocate, which has also been a topic of discussion for them. There was one point they wanted to have two home stadiums, one in Tampa and one in Montreal, which doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, a couple of years ago they had talks where they wanted to be in Montreal and Tampa.
While we're
But
talking here, can you find that schedule that they have to do? Because they have some crazy thing, and it all has to do with they know what the weather's like at that stadium most of the time. And since it's not able to be protected from the weather, they're scared to death that they're going to get rained out continuously.
I've got it
So
right
they've
here.
come up with a plan from MLB to fix it. Go ahead and say it.
So I understand the schedule arrangements they made because I worked in the Florida State League for some time where the Tampa Bay Rays are going to be playing they're going to be playing in a Florida State League stadium.
Right.
Um so I understand it and I kind of have to agree with it even though it's a little outrageous. The Rays will play 47 of first 59 games at home and then 69 of the last 103 on the road, and that's to prevent as many rainouts as they can.
That's a lot of work they had to put in to come up with that schedule.
Yeah.
You're not kidding.
Very
You almost
makes
wonder
sense.
if they should have just become a traveling team just to become a traveling team, period.
They
Traveling
wouldn't have to give
wilburys.
Steinbrenner any money.
I know.
What do they say to their wives and family? All right, hon, I'm hitting the road for the next 200 days. See ya. Might have worked out well for Wander Franco.
Wow. 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 He's the wanderer. He's the wanderer. Oh, my.
But we have to stop. We're going to get banned.
Yeah, we are. So
Santa Claus talks Wander Franco.
why I feel sorry for Tampa Bay is nothing like having to pay out this money to a rival team in your own division. I mean, that's what's pretty bad about it.
It is, yeah.
That's why I said they should have went to Oakland.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Fun
I mean,
fact, I've gotten a lot of hate on TikTok for that.
that would have been hilarious, though.
People are like, what are you even talking about? This is so stupid. Like, why would a team go thousands of miles away from their home? Like, I got hated on that on TikTok.
How's it any different than going to Montreal for your second stadium? I mean, that's a different country, for pity's sake.
Exactly.
What I was trying to say.
I mean,
Plus, you know, if they did that, like I heard you mention this, Alex, they would have packed that stadium just to show that they could.
that's exactly right.
Yeah, because they hate the A's owner, John Fisher, so much. They would have said, we're not the problem. We're not coming here because you're the bad owner.
Talking about the Athletics, I looked up on their MLB page.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're called this year, the Athletics. They don't even have a town, so they're just called the Athletics.
And they probably won't have a town until they move to Las Vegas, which is going to happen in 2028.
So we have two teams now that are wandering around.
Pretty much.
Wandering around. Not wandering.
I mean, and the sad thing is, if they don't do any better than Las Vegas Raiders, then there's no sense in going there.
I don't know why they're going there in the first place. They had a fan base in Oakland. They had devoted fans in Oakland.
I know.
If it's like the owner took the page out of Major League. Honestly.
I feel sorry for Oakland. They've lost the A's and the Raiders and didn't want either one of them to be gone. And I really feel sorry for the group. I really do. So, all right, moving on. My Orioles are trying to make some changes in their coaching. They're trying to shore up some better coaching. So I don't know who all the people are. I didn't look into all the names, but they are doing some coaching changes. I am not into artwork, and I'm not into going to an art museum, but I found it pretty cool that there's an art museum in Miami that is commemorating some of Derek Jeter's greatest moments, and there's some artwork down there, and I live close enough to Miami. It might be worth going there.
Can I just
see
say
what it looks like?
something about that?
Yeah.
I find it funny that Derek Jeter has an art thing going on, considering he took down the art home run statue that was in Marlins Park.
Oh, did he really?
Fans loved, by the way. I loved that statue. And then he took away the fish tanks behind home plate. Everyone loved those. There was something unique about Marlins Park.
He's the one that did that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why did he do that?
Oh,
that was very unique.
Everyone liked it.
Does he live in Miami?
No clue.
No, he does not.
Well, he may have a place in Miami. I don't know.
He tore down everything that was unique about the stadium and then left.
Huh. That's interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting. Well, I hope that this new coach can really do him some good down there. I mean, I know he's not the owner, but still.
Yeah, but I don't know how good that will do, considering, wasn't it just last season that, not last season, the year before, where Skip Schumacher won Manager of the Year?
It wasn't too long ago, if it wasn't 2 years ago. Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. So, Toronto, are they all talk with their money? Is that all they are?
Don't think they're all talk. I think just no one wants to go there.
Ooh.
I think they're trying to be active in the free agent market. I just don't think anyone wants to play in Toronto.
So is it because they don't win, or is it because there's a certain player there they don't want to play with, or what do you think it is?
I think it's about being in Toronto.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yep. I can go along with that.
And I also think because There's been a lot of rumors about what they're going to do with Bichette, what they're going to do with Vladimir Guerrero.
I agree with that.
There's no surety that they'll have that core together again.
Exactly.
Even by the end of this offseason.
Exactly.
So I think that plays into it, and I think people would just rather be in America.
Yep. I agree.
America.
Well, we kind of saw a little bit of, you said, why would you think that? Well, during the whole COVID thing, we got to see how they just kind of did their own thing. They did not do what everybody else did in baseball, and it was very odd. Like they couldn't play in their own home stadium because they were banned from playing baseball there, and all that will affect someone's decision to go there.
Yeah.
They don't function under the same rules that baseball does when it comes down.
Plus Canadian taxes as well. You got to think about that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Dollar is worth way less, but I think they negotiate that contract with dollars, but I'm not sure.
But they still have to pay the Canadian taxes.
Yeah, I don't know if they high there.
Oh, they probably also have to pay American taxes on top of it as well. I'm assuming. So.
Yeah,
you think they double up?
I wouldn't put it past the American government to do that.
Ooh.
All right, moving right along.
Yeah, really. Yeah, IRS will tear us down. Royals. Royals games are going to be available on the FanDuel Sports Network this year, and it just made me think about. I know between us we've talked about what is the future of baseball and the TV networks, because there's a lot going on with TV networks these days. What do you think?
Well, first off, I think the Royals games are going to be brought to you by Pete Rose, R.I.P. I couldn't help myself. I couldn't. But well, I've actually heard Manfred is trying to get rid of blackout restrictions.
That's good.
So, and I think I've heard that MLB is also trying to get ownership of some of these networks as well. So, well, at least from the Royals standpoint, I feel like they'll have a bottom ticker with the top lines on the day and the updates that go into those, and then the in-game lines. And I think the Royals are going to be royally into betting this year.
What am I missing?
FanDuel does a lot of betting. That's why.
FanDuel does fantasy and sportsbook.
Yeah, okay. And that's the network that's going to provide their games. So that's why he keeps mentioning about betting.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I mentioned Pete Rose.
It took me
exactly. Okay. And eventually we're going to have DraftKings doing it too.
Oh, I believe it. Wow. I'm honestly surprised that one isn't DraftKings.
Yeah, it's going to happen eventually.
But I feel like DraftKings is bigger.
So you yeah, exactly. You mentioned India coming from the Reds. Yes. I think it's really going to help their infield big time.
I think that's a win-win for both teams. Reds needed more pitching, and Royals needed more hitting. It was a perfect trade, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
I think agree. they both won that trade.
Yeah, and that doesn't always happen, so it's really a neat one. I agree. Well, talking about trading or what's going to happen, I know you guys have been some Astros fans in the past, or at least thought about them. Bregman, what's going on? Is he going to stay Astros as it keeps getting further and further down this offseason? How are you feeling about that?
I do think he's going to stay an Astro. I do. Is there a chance he does leave? Yes. But I think the Astros are going to try and do whatever it takes. Obviously not $700 million, but they're really going to try to keep Bregman in Houston. And no longer Minute Maid Park, instead Daikin Park.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Did that already happen, or is that this coming year?
This is going to be for this coming year, but it's already been announced.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Yeah. It's funny because you mentioned all the stuff that Angels have been doing, and if you look on their MLB page, they actually are being nicknamed the aggressive Angels this busy offseason because of how much they've done. And they have. I mean, they are picking up stuff left and right.
And
I
how much
hope
they've
some of
done
it,
early.
yeah, early on, exactly. Because a lot of stuff isn't done till after the winter meetings typically, or at the winter meetings. So this really is a pretty aggressive Angels. I don't know. I don't know enough of those names to know if it's going to help them drastically or not. But hey, any moves is good at this point.
Well, I just want to give a reminder. The Angels had Ohtani and Trout in the same lineup, and it didn't do anything. They need a lot.
Yeah,
They
isn't
need
that
a lot.
something? Isn't that something to think about though? For what Ohtani has become now, to think of having both of them. What was, you know what? I mean, I don't expect you to look it up right now, but it would be interesting to know what Ohtani was before he moved to the Dodgers, because he wasn't much, really. And then all of a sudden he just turned it around and bang. It's like, man, where did this guy come from? Did he play some years over in Japan as well, didn't he?
Yes.
Sure did.
Yes.
So I wonder who connected with him in LA that really got him on the start, because something changed. I don't know if it was just a approach of a batting coach or something, but something changed that drastically.
Okay. So I actually have it up right here. So for hitting, I'm gonna do hitting and then pitching. So
Okay.
for hitting in 2018 was his first year. He was 23 when he came over. He had a 285 batting average, a 361 on base percentage, and a 925 OPS in his rookie season.
Pretty good.
Wow.
2019, and that was in 104 games. 2019 in 106 games, 286, 343 on base percentage, and an 848 OPS. I'm not even going to read off 2020 because it wasn't good. He only played 44 games. That's not a season. I'm not going to read that off. 2021, 155 games.
Hold on. Complete season. Remember that was COVID year.
I know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I know. Um, 2021, 257, 372 on base, and a 965 OPS. 2022, 273, 356, and an 875 OPS. 2023 was his best year in Anaheim, I'm going to say, where he bat 304. On base percentage was 412, and then OPS was 1,066. This year with the Dodgers, he bat 310, 390 on base, and 1036 OPS. So he technically had a better year in 2023, but didn't win a World Series.
Interesting. So was Trout hurt some of this time? Is that the
Yes,
problem?
Trout has not, as of late, he's had a bit of an injury bug.
Wow. That is just remarkable that he was that consistent, because that's some pretty good hitting since the beginning.
Do you want me to read off his ERA of the past
Sure.
years?
Sure.
Yeah.
Alrighty. In 2018, he pitched 51 and two-thirds innings with a 3.31. He did pitch in 1 and two-thirds innings in 2020. Didn't pitch at all in 2019. 2021, he had 130 and a third innings pitched with a 3.18 ERA. 2022, he had 166 innings pitched with a 2.33 ERA.
Wow.
Yeah.
And in 2023, he pitched 132 innings with a 3.14.
So he keeps it under 350 considerably.
His highest was, not counting the 1 and two-thirds innings, his highest has been 331 in his rookie year in 51
Wow.
innings. When he's
Wow.
pitched over 100 innings, his highest ERA has been 3.18.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
You could even say 130 innings because 130 and a third is least over 100. innings pitched. This guy's the real deal.
So some year he is going to win some hitting and pitching awards is what he's going to do.
So in 2022, which was his best pitching year, he was an all-star. He finished MVP 2. He finished in second place in the MVP voting. I think that's when Judge broke the AL home run record, though.
Mm-hmm.
And he was Cy Young 4.
Wow.
Yeah, he's like a top 3 in both categories. Crazy.
5, if anything.
Yeah.
So it's very fair to call him a cyborg, no doubt. I mean, that's crazy stuff, man. That's not even normal.
I mean, Albert Pujols has the nickname the Machine, but Tani may classify as a machine.
Wow, that's pretty incredible stuff. Yeah, all right. Well,
he's a once in a baseball.
Yeah.
Once in a baseball.
Yeah.
Once in 100 years talent.
Yeah, exactly. All right, moving on to Seattle. Seattle's also another team that's going to get some new coaches. And just while we're at Seattle, I just want to put a plug in here for that unanimous Hall of Fame vote for Arricchio. He has to get it.
Please, can you say his name one more time, please?
I'd rather not, because I'll say it wrong every time.
Ichiro. I don't even know what you said, but it's Ichiro.
Yeah. So he would get the first position player unanimous vote if he got it. And people think he's going to get it.
He should.
First ballot. Bang. Done.
Does anyone think he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame? Because I'd like to meet them.
Well, there's other players that people thought would be unanimous, and it didn't happen. So I'm not going to say it's.
I mean, if they vote no, it's just because they don't want it to be unanimous.
Well, I agree with that.
I mean, I think we could all agree. I don't know if everyone will say yes just because of that fact, but he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
I sure hope so.
Well,
I sure hope so.
One or two people might say, I don't want to, but
I don't really feel like it.
All right. Texas Rangers also is another team that's moving on with 4 new coaches.
Isn't Skip Schumacher there now?
I don't know. Like I said, I didn't look up all this stuff. I just looked at that. Just the top little brand stuff at each thing. The Braves, Sale won that Cy Young. That was the Braves' 8th Cy Young award. I thought that was a pretty good amount. That's not bad. I could name a few of those, but I'm not going to do it. And I can't believe how fast we march on to the next year's possible Rookie of the Year. But the Phillies have a right-handed pitcher coming by the name of Andrew Painter. And many are saying that he could possibly be the 2025 Rookie of the Year. I've never seen him, don't know anything about him, but
I think everyone's got a chance since Paul Skeens is going to be on the list.
Yeah, you're right about that. You're very right about that.
Is Jackson Holliday still eligible, or
I don't. Yeah. There was an article on the Cubs. You're terrible. There's an article on the Cubs MLB page that should they trade Cody Bellinger for what they need? Now he's their slugger. I just wanted your input. What you think?
If they trade him, it'll be in July.
Oh wow, that's good. That's a good way to say it.
Because he just picked up his player option for 2025.
Oh, did he really?
About a month ago. Yeah, he picked up his player option. So he is going to be a Chicago Cub. I doubt they trade him before the season starts. Do I think they should? Probably. Because they have needs. And the thing is with Chicago, they have a core talent that they like.
Yeah.
They have their core of players that they like.
Yeah.
But it's just not good enough. Plain and simple. So I do think they should trade Bellinger, but I don't think it'll be until the deadline.
Yep. I can go along with that. And Oh my, I was so stunned to read this, but the Reds have picked up Terry. Look at you. You're so happy.
I love Terry Francona. I
He's their
love
new
Terry
coach.
Francona.
And here's just my opinion. I think he is going to improve De La Cruz like crazy as a person, as a player. I see that team gelling together. I look out. I think Reds are heading places now. I really do.
If anyone's gonna man a ship, you want it to be Terry Francona.
That's exactly right.
And just uh just a little funny thing. If Terry Francona can manage Manny Ramirez,
Yeah, really.
he can
Yeah,
manage
you're.
anyone.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth. That's the
um
truth.
yeah, I think the Reds, if anyone is going to dethrone Milwaukee, I think it's now going to be the Reds.
I agree. I agree, most definitely. And he could definitely do it. Um, no doubt about it.
Yeah. And I'm
I
excited to see what the Reds
read
do.
a I read an article about the Pirates that they're doing all sorts of shifting in their outfield. It's not that they're getting rid of people, but they're switching where they're playing. I don't know why. Um,
I heard
but
O'Neal Cruz, their shortstop, is moving to the outfield.
yeah, it was some kind of shifting throughout the whole. Yeah, that's exactly right. And some of it may be because there's also a lot of shuffling going on in their front office. That always scares me because you never know what's going to happen when that happens. That can just shake the boat. Um, depending how high up the train some of that shuffling went. And I would have said that the Pirates were, they were coming along. They were doing okay. And so I hope this doesn't shake the boat here.
I
They're a
think
young team. I mean, they've got that one old player, whatever his name is, but the rest of them, they're a pretty young
McCutcheon.
team. Yeah, McCutcheon. But outside of that, they're a pretty young team. So I hope this doesn't shake their boat a little bit. But um,
So I think, like you said, they're doing shuffling on the front office.
yeah,
I think that is being done because the Pirates made a promise last year that they were going to do something, and they added like one player maybe, and like they said they were going to make a splash basically, and they didn't really do that.
okay.
So I think that is because promises went unfulfilled.
Okay, nothing wrong with that. Hey, if you can't keep your word on it, go for it. Get out of here. Read something about the D-backs that I did not know. They scored the most runs last year at 886. More than the Yankees, more than the Dodgers, more than all those teams. And yet, the sad part is, out of the strong hitters that they have, three of those players just may be gone before the season starts.
It's Walker, Peterson, and who else?
It started with an S. I don't remember his name. I think it started with an S. I may be wrong. Hold on, I could look it up. So let's see. Give me just a second.
One.
Yeah, thanks. How did I know you would do that?
Because you know me so well.
Nope, I'm wrong. It started with a G.
Who else?
Grychik?
Randall Grichuk?
Grichik. That's it.
I mean, I wouldn't really call
Grichik.
him a top hitter, but okay.
Well,
um,
it's Walker. It's who you said. Walker.
Peterson
Uh,
and Grichuk.
yep, that's the three. And there's a big possibility
I can see all of them
that
not being
those are
on
the
that
three
team
that could
next
be
year.
gone.
I
So,
could definitely see all three of them not returning.
Wow.
well, you got to feel sorry for the D-box then, because that means they're going to have to find another way to do some offense.
And they were just in the World Series, not this season, but last season.
I know.
And it looks like they're not going to be returning again for some time.
That's what it sounds like.
Well, how can they? I mean, with the Dodgers buying up all the players, on
and
deferment.
deferring. Yeah, I knew that's where that was going.
Yeah, they are in a wrong division to try to do anything. And then the last thing I've got, we can still talk about other things if we need to, but
I've got one more in the bag, and you know
okay,
about
well,
it.
Giants without Snell.
Can
Will
I
they
say,
even exist?
I still like their rotation.
Wow, listen to you.
Yep. Because they've, if I'm not mistaken, they had injuries. So,
Oh, okay. That's very possible. While you're looking that up, a previous Giant, I don't think he spent the last couple of years there, but he spent 13 seasons with the Giants. Brandon Crawford is retiring.
Brady Crawford is retiring. Yes, I did hear that. Um, he had a 1 year stint with St. Louis last year, if I'm not mistaken. Other than that, his whole career was with San
The
Francisco.
Giants. That's correct.
There's another thing I want to say on the Giants. Their rotation currently is Logan Webb, Robbie Ray, Jordan Hicks, Kyle Harrison, and Landon Rope, which I don't really know who that is. But the first three guys are, well, first two are real documented starting pitching. The third one, Jordan Hicks, San Francisco got him last year and moved him to a starter, and that's worked out. He had a good year last year. Kyle Harrison, top prospect, came up last year. Have the best year, but he was a top prospect, so he still has some things to work on. And then Landon Rope pitched 50 innings with a 3.58 ERA. So I still like this rotation. I think their problem wasn't pitching. I think they need hitting.
Okay. All right. Well, I hope
Eh,
that's right.
Let me just look up one more thing. Because I thought I heard that an old player has returned to the team.
Reunion.
He's not playing anymore. Buster Posey,
Oh, my goodness.
president of baseball operations
Nice.
for the San
Wow.
Francisco Giants.
Good for him. Good
I
for
like.
them.
Yeah. Catchers make good managers sometimes.
Right. And fun fact, he went to Lee County High School and Florida State University.
Oh, wow. Indeed.
Now we do have one more topic on the docket. Sir, we need your full attention because this is going to shock you.
Oh, I know what it is. Yes.
Oh, I don't know where they get these kind of ideas, but they really shouldn't. All right, Paul.
Absolutely.
Alrighty, so you listening?
I'm here, man. Go.
So there have been talks that Rob Manfred is interested in bringing a golden bat rule to Major League Baseball. Now, what this will be is I can't even believe I can't get through this. Every team, every game will be allowed to use their golden bat, which means any one of their players at any time, no matter if it's not their turn in the lineup, could come up and hit.
What? What? That's not. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
You
Yeah,
better put
so
an asterisk next to every one of those hits.
No. That there's no way. No. There is no way that anyone in baseball is going to allow that to happen. No way. No way. Not a chance.
I can see the managers just going off like a rocket ship on this, just going crazy.
So, again, is this serious? Or is this like, you know,
no, this is serious. Like this is like a proposed rule.
Yeah, it's dead serious.
proposed rule?
Yeah,
At any point, a team could just bring up whoever they want.
it's a game.
No.
All I can say to it, if they're going to allow that, then you might as well at the same time say, at the same time, they can bring in any pitcher they want at that same time.
But that's different though, because pitchers come in on rest and they have their rotations. So I mean, I see what you're saying, but like, you're not gonna have do this rule and have Otani get an extra at bat, and then have Paul Skeens, who just pitched the day before, come out and pitch again, even if it is just for the golden rule batter.
Nor
Well,
will
yeah, but it's going to be unfair if you've got some scrub in there, and then comes Otani, and the guy's hit 3 home runs against him in his lifetime.
we can't even justify this with a conversation. We can't make proposals around something so idiotic. I mean, it goes against every rule of baseball, every foundation that's been set. A pitcher is, working his way through a lineup, and now what? We not just a pinch hitter. They can bring in whoever they want out of order. No, you pitch out of order, everybody's out. Like it doesn't. No, what? No, no, no. This is worse than what I thought you were going to say. Golden bat rule. I mean, I thought they were actually going to bring like a gold colored bat out if they did it.
I told you that was nothing compared to what we were going to say.
I was talking with my wife about this rule, and she was
Yeah.
like, "Wait, if this goes through, can you bank up at bats? Like if you don't use one, do you have two for the next game?"
Oh boy, no, they better not do that.
Because then I came back with, well, if you're the Dodgers, you don't use it for 9 games, and then you have Otani bat 9 times in a row. Assuming not, because they don't do the extra innings rule. I don't like either, by the way.
Yeah. This is beyond. I'd love to know who proposed this.
I believe it was Rob Manfred.
Really? How
I
much
don't
longer?
know. And I also hope the extra inning rule gets reversed. I don't like it. It's not pure baseball. It's not. I do like the pitch clock. I do have to admit, I do like the pitch clock, but I don't like the extra innings rule. That was last season. It was last season.
I think they're expanding it this year, though.
I think there's talks to bring it up to the big leagues this year.
What I thought I had heard was spring training is now going to have it. I don't know. I don't know what I thought.
So, a robot umpire is.
Beep beep boop.
I don't think they're bringing the robot ump up. I think they're bringing up the ability to challenge balls and strikes. So, what this would do is if a pitcher or a hitter doesn't like the call, they can tap their head and the umpire will say, "Okay, challenge," and he'll hear back like immediately if it was a ball or a strike and call it.
Beep beep boop bop. But I have this goofy image in my mind of like a SpongeBob robot sitting behind home plate with an antenna on its head, going strike, ball,
Right.
human.
Oh, that will be obsolete. Video replay. I think that'll stay the same. That aspect is not about speeding up the game, but instead getting the calls right. Because I remember, this was a few years ago, the Red Sox were in Yankee Stadium playing a playoff game. There was one umpire that game was now not an umpire, Gil Hernandez, and he had, I believe it was 3 or 4 calls reversed in a playoff game. It was just his calls that were reversed.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
So I agree with having a challenge system. Um, and I agree with the strike zone thing because I've actually seen a few games, or at least I think I have, at least a couple games, where the challenge system was used, and I kind of liked it with the balls and strikes. Um, it was pretty quick, and they got the right call, so I didn't have a
I will,
problem with it.
all right, so I umpired for several years, from little league, little kids up to 16-year-old, and a couple of things I'd like to say about that actually. But with the I being umpiring behind the plate, I just thought I was going to have an opinion that I hated this, electronic strike zone where it kind of tells you in your earpiece if it was a ball or a strike. And when I watched the game, I was like, wow, that went pretty smooth. You didn't have all kinds of arguments going on. Uh, and then I hear the umpires saying, you know what, that takes pressure off. They were saying they didn't mind it so much either because they still get to make the call, but they at least have something telling them that, electronically this is or it isn't. And it kind of, I don't know. I was hating the idea at first, but after observing how it worked, I kind of liked it.
Baseball is going more towards they want the right call rather than having human error be a part of the game, like you were saying, Paul. I think they would rather have the right call now.
Now, that being said, too, about catchers, um, that was another thing. You umpire at different levels. You just want you get to the point where you just don't want to get hit by the baseball anymore. So, a catcher that's actually catching the ball, you're very happy about that. But then when you start to move up into the upper leagues and you see how some of these guys are developing their craft and how they receive the ball in motion with, they do a motion with the baseball as it's coming in to kind of pull that into the strike zone. And there are times where I would say to the catcher, even though it was a ball, I'd say ball, and then just low enough for him to hear it. I'd say that was a good frame job, though. Like like, oh, nice try on the framing, whatever. I liked watching them develop that skill to frame a pitch, and that'll be gone and that'll be obsolete. And that's
Shigon.
yeah, it's not the worst thing. It's certainly you know not as bad as this golden bat. Ridiculous. I can't even believe.
You mean like pitchers not trying to hit the corner as much, or even trying to hit the corner more?
I don't think so.
For the most part, I don't think so, because umpires are getting better as it is, and that it won't change anything, because they'll either get the call or they won't. Either gonna miss the spot or they're gonna hit it. So if they can hit it and they know they can hit it, they're gonna try for it, and if not, they're not going to try for it anymore. So I guess maybe a little bit, but not
I
dramatically.
I don't think so because picture this when you used to play like in the backyard, you're playing wiffle ball or something with a friend, and you got the chair back there, and as
Mm-hmm.
long as you hit the chair, even if it just nicks it, you got the call. Like that was it. It was a strike. This machine, or however they calculate, it's going to do the same thing. I mean, as long as you hit the spot, you're going to get that call. So I think they're going to just shoot for the corners just like they always did. I don't see it changing anything because at least they'll get the call. Not necessarily, no.
I think it shrinks over time. As in Little League, when you're playing with 9, 11-year-olds who are just out there to have fun, you're going to expand the strike zone a little bit because you don't want every batter to get walked.
Yeah, that's boring.
I think it shrinks. High school, okay. I think that's about the same.
It's about the same, yeah. Yes, it does.
Yes. That I'm
Don't
not sure of, but for safety, I don't think so. That's why I didn't think it does. Only thing that I can think changes is the bat.
ping.
I would love to see a home run derby with aluminum bats in Coors Field. The balls will never land. That's why.
Yeah, that'd
Sure,
be so.
some of the kids out in the outfield who are shagging them may get killed. So what? I'll get to see a 700-foot ball go up. I
Ping.
believe that's all we have for this episode, right? Alrighty. So
All right,
this is
the
the
crew is
ground.
still awake.
Huh?
Those of our audience who are still awake, yes, that's it.
And this is the Grounds Crew signing off. Please like, subscribe, comment. We are on YouTube as you are seeing
So,
this. And we are also on Instagram and TikTok, which many of you have shown your hate for my uh, Oakland opinion for the Rays on TikTok. Thank you for all of those comments. Love it. And please keep commenting and liking.
anyway, ground screw.